My name is Emir Halilovic. I'm a research director at GlobalData, and I lead the telecom technology and software team. And I also personally am responsible for the research of optical transport networks and fixed access networks. Well, the first thing they need to understand is what are their customer requirements. For example, they need to understand which customers are, the heaviest users, where they need to deploy the gigabit services, and also they need to understand. Obviously, they need to map the network and do the network heat maps, etc., and see where the first biggest requirements are. And then, of course, the question is then how they manage their customer experience and how they enable their network elements to, provide the best possible experience to their customers and to provide these gigabit services with real, let's say, gigabit experience based on what the customers are looking for. It's when comparing the 5800 MA5800T with the just MA5800, there are certainly like several key upgrades compared to the previous platforms. And if you just start from the capacity, the capacity is very significantly increased, so up to 2 terabits per second per slot, which is 10 times higher capacity than the previous ones. And that is something that is extremely important because as we are moving to faster and faster PON technologies, we have 50 gig PON now going live. We actually need much more capacity per slot to provide multiple 50 gig PON, and then thinking about the technologies that are on the horizon, we need this extra capacity to ensure that the platform is going to be viable for a long time in the future. So that is one very important improvement, very important upgrade. The others have to do with the flexibility. So many more ways to provide different PON technologies on actually the same port. Many ways how to make these line cards more dense, how to provide more ports and how to serve more customers from one port and from one line card. And then finally, the reliability. So the reliability of the new platform is increased as well, and it is actually achieved through redundancy and also re-architecting physically how the power and cooling are implemented in the chassis. So these are all kind of very significant changes that hint at the requirements for the future. So much higher capacity. Also, I forgot to mention the much higher transport capacity as well. For example, 4 times 100 gig E uplinks. And then finally, much higher resilience and reliability. And then on top of that, you also have the software sort of features that are also evolving. So the software features that enable operators to ensure optimum quality of experience for customers in their home networks, for example, and also to introduce per application performance optimization for different types of over-the-top applications, for example, and also capability to monetize this optimization too. So quite a few updates and upgrades to the platform. 10 gig applications, first of all, we are seeing basically that in all parts of activities that consumers and also enterprises are involved in, we have increased requirement for bandwidth, and that bandwidth requirements are not only in the download direction that used to be the case in the past with a lot of video and so on. Now we obviously see that video is increasing constantly its requirements with ultra high, ultra HD and similar 4K, 8K video requirements. But we're also seeing more and more implementations of, for example, XR, and all the XR capabilities that will be required, both in the consumer and also in the enterprise environments, are going to drive tremendously the requirement for not only the bandwidth, but also the symmetricity, because most of these experiences are interactive and they basically generate traffic both ways. But we're also going to see the increased requirements for quality of this experience, and that means much higher focus on the latency, lowering the latency, and much lower tolerance for jitter, for example. So with regards to these applications, I guess this is only the start. Then when we are looking at the more sophisticated implementations, for example, of AI-generated content, AI-generated content increases tremendously the traffic over all types of networks. And with the onset of AI assistance, for example, powered by the AI-generated content, we are going to see even more of this traffic being pushed out all the way to the user. So when we are looking at the requirement for 10G, these requirements are going to be pretty much the backbone or the bulk of these of the drive towards 10G per user. But then if we go even deeper into the use cases that might require to be powered by 10G connections, you will see increased requirements for enterprise applications. You will see increased requirements for the enterprise kind of cloud-based infrastructure, and so on. So basically, there's a whole gamut of applications that will benefit from or require 10G in the future. The MA5800T, again, as I already mentioned, it is a very, very strong upgrade in terms of all parts of its capabilities. Then finally, the FTTR, which Huawei is one of the pioneers in, and its next, let's say, evolutionary step, that's also quite impressive as well.